I wanted to take a moment and talk about police officers without guns. Because a phenomenon has arisen that I find odd. Well, maybe I don't find it odd. I find it maybe more troubling. You will remember, gosh, when was it? I think probably 7, 8 months ago now. I told you the story where I was pulled over on a state road, but apparently the Department of the Interior has its own little park ranger police type guys running around up and down this road citing people for traffic violations. Now, if you remember the story, the end result was I didn't get a ticket. He took the ticket back because I had extended him a kindness, and so he withdrew the ticket, just belatedly. After he'd written it to me, then I extended him a kindness, then he scratched the ticket. We were done. Otherwise, I would have had to investigate whether a federal law enforcement official can write a traffic citation on a state road. But that's a separate issue. But you will remember that the most significant part was how weird and odd he was about getting my gun off of me. I was completely forthright with him. He knew I had a concealed carry permit, which means he knows I've passed a background test. But he wanted to handcuff me before he took the gun, but he couldn't handcuff me till his backup. You remember all this nonsense, right? Well, I ran into him fairly recently at a little service station adjacent to that road. Where that road comes out and meets another state road, there's a service station. And I had pulled in there and to grab something, and there's he and another Department of the Interior park ranger police type character standing there, two of them talking to these young teenage boys. And it was very clear that it was not an official contact, they were just standing around yakking. Now, you may also remember that my previous vehicle hit the ice up in the canyon and rolled. It was destroyed. So the vehicle I was in when he stopped me is not the vehicle I'm in now. So I get out of the vehicle I'm in now that he does not know. And of course he knows my background because we talked about it. Remember I told you after he cited me, he wanted to hang around and be real chatty with me about my time in the Rangers and the fact that he's a firearms instructor for his agency. Yeah, right. And that he wanted to talk shop about firearms and stuff. After writing me like a $400 ticket. Yeah, I want to stand around and talk to you. After you put me in handcuffs, I want to stand around and talk to you. You know, the guy just doesn't. The dots are not connecting in his head. You treat a citizen like that, he's not going to stand around and shoot the breeze with you. So I get out of my truck, and I'm walking, and I start approaching him. And he looks over and sees me, and I smile and say, hey, what's up? I got nothing against the guy. You know, he's a bonehead, but how many people out there are boneheads, right? So I say, hey, what's up? And you should have seen his face. He went from having this little smile on his face because he was sitting there being the big man with these teenage boys, to all of a sudden he gets this look of concern on his face. And suddenly his posture changes and he gets kind of this serious demeanor about him. And he says to us, well, I think we better get back to work. We need to get out of here. And they skedaddle over to their vehicle, they jump in their SUV and drive away. Now, what was that about? Well, he knows I always carry a gun. We had that discussion. So although it was concealed at that particular instance, he knows that I've got it. And he knows my background. And he was not in a position to exert control over me or my weapon. There was nothing cognizable going on by federal law enforcement. We were not anywhere near federal land, which I presume is the issue with the state road running through some sort of area where the federal government has been granted some type of control. So we're not anywhere near that. We're clearly in the state of Nevada, not on federal land or territory, or any place over which the federal government would have control. He, in other words, is off the reservation. He's now in a free country. So there was no federal law enforcement issue. So he had no control over me or my weapon. That's what got him in that. Because remember, at the end of the traffic stop, when he still had my gun, he wanted to be all chatty. Oh, smiling, laughing, joking. But now that I've got my gun, Different story. Now he gets all concerned. He gets this weird look on his face. His entire energy changes, and he tells his partner, we need to get back to work. So today, I'm in a restaurant. And there's a guy that I believe he's a parole officer, if I read between the lines correctly. And I see him all over town at lunch. We even joke. I say, are you stalking me? Because every place I go, there he is. And we joke and laugh. And he's always there with his partner, and they're both armed, right? Today, I see him on his day off. He's got like what look almost like a bathing suit on, and a sleeveless t-shirt. No gun. No badge, no gun. Just sitting there having lunch, I think, with his son. And instead of the smiles and the joking, this really seriously, hey, what's up? No smile, no, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Like he normally is. They finish up real quick and get out of the restaurant. Why? Because he didn't have his gun. It is a sad, sad statement when people who carry a gun on behalf of the government cannot be comfortable around American citizens because they don't have their guns. Wonder what that means. I'm Dave Champion, back in a moment.